October 4th, 1985. Hollywood is at war. Not a war of politics, a war of biceps, bullets, and box office glory. Sylvester Stallone's Rambo First Blood Part 2 just made $300 million. Every studio in town is hunting for the next muscle-bound savior who can blow up an army single-handed. Enter Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fresh off the Terminator, hungry to prove he could carry an action movie all by himself. So the studio handed him a $9 million budget, a lean script, and one wild idea. What if a retired soldier had to rescue his daughter from an entire army, completely alone? What followed was Commando, a movie so over the top it defied gravity, body counts, and basic physics. It was violent, it was hilarious, it was pure, uncut 1980s action insanity. And stick around till the end, because the story of the Commando 2 sequel that almost happened and how Arnold saying no changed movie history might blow your mind. Let's dive in. Commando was directed by Mark L. Lester and produced by action movie architect Joel Silver, the man who would later bring us Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. But here's the first wild twist. Commando was never meant for Arnold. The original script was written for Gene Simmons. Yes, the bassist from Kiss. He turned it down, then it was rewritten for Nick Nolte. Only when Arnold signed on did writer Stephen E. D'Souza scrap half the story and rebuild it from the ground up, turning a gritty political thriller into a one-man army cartoon. Arnold wasn't just acting in Commando, he was shaping an entire generation. John Matrix. Even the name sounds like a weapon. A retired Special Forces colonel living quietly in the mountains with his daughter Jenny, played by a very young Alyssa Milano. Peace doesn't last long. Someone is killing off Matrix's old team one by one. Moments later, Commandos attack his home, kill the guards, and kidnap Jenny. The mastermind? Arius, a disgraced South American dictator ousted by Matrix years ago. And his right-hand man? Bennett, Matrix's ex-teammate turned chain mall vest-wearing psychopath. Arius gives Matrix a choice: assassinate a president or his daughter dies. They put him on a plane with 11 hours until Jenny's execution. Matrix doesn't even last 11 minutes. The second that plane leaves the runway, Matrix snaps his guard's neck, leaps out mid-flight, and splashes into a swamp. He sets his digital watch, 11 hours until they realize he's gone. From that moment, the countdown begins. Matrix hijacks a flight attendant named Cindy and drags her into the chaos. What follows is one of the most gloriously inconsistent chase sequences in cinema history. A mall that rearranges itself between cuts, physics-defying car stunts, and a Porsche that magically repairs itself after a crash. Cindy asks where the bad guys went. Matrix stares coldly and says, "I lied." That one line turned Arnold into a legend. This is where Commando becomes something more than an action flick. It becomes a testament to Arnold's mythos. He was already famous for the Terminator, but Commando let him inject humor into his violence. He kills a man, cracks a joke, and the audience cheers. And here's the kicker. Most of those lines were improvised by Arnold himself. Let off some steam, Bennett. Not in the script. I eat Green Berets for breakfast. Pure Schwarzenegger. Even the crew couldn't keep a straight face. Arnold said the line so seriously that laughter became part of the energy on set. Physically, the guy was unstoppable. He lifted a real phone booth with a stuntman inside, about 400 pounds, for real. He dislocated his shoulder mid-shoot, popped it back in, and kept going. When asked about it later, he just said, "No problem." Rae Dawn Chong wasn't acting scared. She was terrified. Every explosion, every gunfire scene, real practical pyrotechnics inches away from her. The plane scene? No green screen. They filmed it using a real aircraft hundreds of feet in the air. She later said, "I spent most of that movie trying not to die." Dan Hedaya played Arius like he was performing Shakespeare. So serious it made the movie even funnier. And Vernon Wells' Bennett? Leather pants, chainmail, mustache, half villain, half rock star. The director admitted later, Bennett was in love with Matrix, but also wanted to kill him. It's the kind of unhinged energy that could only exist in the 1980s. Matrix invades a private island alone. 74 confirmed kills, some fans counted 81. He mows down soldiers who forget how to aim, dodges helicopters, tanks, and grenades, shirtless, covered in mud, armed with a rocket launcher. Military experts later said this sequence is the most impossible assault ever filmed. But audiences didn't care about logic. They came for catharsis. The final showdown between Matrix and Bennett feels like two demigods colliding. Bennett screams, "I'm not going to shoot you between the eyes. I'm going to shoot you between the balls." Matrix answers by impaling him with a steam pipe, then delivers cinema's greatest pun, "Let off some steam, Bennett." Cue explosion, roll credits, pure art. Here's the part film nerds love. The movie supposedly takes place in 11 hours, but the sun rises, sets, and rises again. Matrix travels from Los Angeles to a tropical island and back all in a half day. Continuity errors pile up, bullet holes disappear, cars repair themselves, entire characters teleport between scenes. But that's what made Commando magic. It didn't care about realism. It cared about being unforgettable. Commando exploded at the box office. #1 for 3 weeks, $57 million on a $9 million budget. Fox immediately demanded Commando 2. They drafted scripts, bigger explosions, new villains, even a subplot with Jenny Matrix as a teenager. But Arnold turned it down. He didn't want to repeat himself. That decision changed Hollywood forever. The writer, Stephen E. D'Souza, took parts of that unused Commando 2 script, a skyscraper siege, a lone hero, terrorists instead of soldiers, and used it for a brand new movie. That movie was Die Hard. If Arnold had said yes to Commando 2, we might never have gotten Die Hard the way we know it. No Bruce Willis, no Nakatomi Plaza, no Yippee-ki-yay. One no shaped the next decade of action cinema. Commando captured lightning in a bottle, the perfect mix of violence, comedy, and unintentional parody. It defined what 80s action was all about. Absurd confidence, practical explosions, heroes who never run out of bullets, and one-liners that could kill a man twice. It paved the way for everything, from Predator to Die Hard to John Wick. Every time a modern action hero cracks a joke mid-fight, they owe a little something to John Matrix. You can stream Commando right now on HBO Max or for free on Tubi. Smash that like button if you grew up on 80s action chaos. Subscribe for more wild stories behind Hollywood's craziest productions, and tell us in the comments, what's your favorite Arnold one-liner? And which 80s action movie should we cover next? Because in the world of 80s action, there's no such thing as too much muscle.